In 8 months, we added $470,000 to the SDR Whisperer's revenue, and in this video, the CEO Dylan will chat with me about his experience of working with us and the massive impact it had on his business.
Hey, what's up, Dylan?
What's good, dude?
Thank you for just inviting me in Florida, and it's really cool. We didn't have the chance to golf. I would have loved that, but yeah, just wanted to take a quick video for seeing what we've done together for the last 9 months, I think, 8 or 9 months.
9 months, yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to see, for people listening as well, what does the SDR Whisperer do and what you do in sales.
Yeah. So SDR Whisperer is our sales training and coaching program. So we take individuals who may not have been in sales or just got started in sales. We coach, train, and get them a job. So all through cold calling, cold email, LinkedIn, DM setting, train them how to do sales, and then how to monetize the skill set.
And then you place them in companies, which is great, and they're absolute killers. And yeah, just curious about how many of those were you able to train?
We've done over 350 inside the program, directly over 200.
Directly over 200, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the exact numbers that we've been able to help you in the past 9 months was around 145 new members, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And
good chunk of the community.
Yeah, good chunk of it. And part of them were placed in companies. About what was the SDR Whisperer looking like before that? Because it was pretty new, not super, super new, but it was a few months old, a year or maybe.
It's like 6 months, when you first started.
Yeah. So I was wondering, what was it looking like before, and what is the comparison to then to now in terms of the SDR Whisperer?
Yeah, so brand was just getting started, pretty much just leveraging referrals, personal network. Yeah, since bringing you on into the team, it's been a catalyst for our brand, our messaging, our voice. The client acquisition channels have grown. Just helping more people is really the goal and what you've helped us accomplish.
And what's the goal with the SDR Whisperer? I don't know if you have a specific number in mind. I'd say, let's say a specific number, in the next 2 years, you have a specific number you want to hit, or?
Yeah, you know who I am. I'm very more small steps than large, massive goals driven. So, our goal is if we could get, 50 students a month, predictably for every single month, that gives us a lot, because obviously we have the two business models, right? So we need to train them, but then you said we guarantee placements, so we need to make sure we have enough companies with seats to fill the warm bodies. So both companies need to scale at the same time. So don't want to scale too fast, don't want to scale too slow. So yeah, it's a teeter-totter for sure.
Makes a lot of sense. What were the key obstacles or just things that were keeping you from growing the SDR Whisperer within that first 6 months? What do you think were the things blocking you from growing?
Yeah, so we were super focused on product in the beginning. A lot of people do that wrong. A lot of people market something they don't have. We kind of did the backwards way, which I think is better for long-term growth. So we built the product to become kick-ass, and then now we needed to tell more people about it. So working with you, you've allowed us to diversify the channels in which we could help people, getting into YouTube, school community, emails, newsletters, name it.
And for anyone that has an education training company, even service-based, it's for everything. I've understood that.
Yeah.
They need an SDR. They need a cold caller full-time. Can you dive a bit more into why they should have one?
Pretty much the same reason why we work together.
Yeah.
They don't have enough time, energy, or bandwidth, and maybe it's not their core area of expertise. So if you're a business owner and you're doing cold calls, probably should stop. It's not the most high leveraged activity. So getting someone who's already trained to come into your business and be able to just take that baton, and you can focus on being a business owner or a founder or whatever it is you need to focus on.
What would you say are the key factors, differentiators between working with us and, let's say, an agency that you had the chance to work with before? Of course, you've probably worked with other agencies and service providers before. With what you said to me, or just what I saw, you only were with them for a few weeks or a few months. So what was the difference between them, for example, and us that you were able to work with us for now over 9 months?
I think it's communication, being able to work with somebody that you trust in the business and understanding that it's getting done instead of being an outsourced person where we have a weekly check-in call. Mm-hmm. We constantly communicated, and the biggest thing with you is that you brought new ideas and innovation. So usually with an agency, they just have a core product or services, and you get that, or you need to get a new agency or add another agency to it. So with you, it was more innovation and understanding the product to bring it to market in new ways.
And trying new things, I guess. Because we did try things that failed, right?
Yeah.
I was able to bounce back, at least in my experience with you, just talking to each other and seeing like what is the next step. Okay, this didn't work. Why didn't it work? And I think most of the time, like agencies they're only focused, like you said, on one thing.
Yeah.
But I think what we're doing is we're looking at the other spheres that would potentially be beneficial. For example, the school community, which I don't think a lot of people listening to this like are really actively trying to grow a community. It's just something different that people don't try a lot. What areas of your life and your career improved by working with us?
Yeah, it allows us to focus on what we needed to focus on, right? Building the product, getting the people the jobs, what they actually pay us money to do, providing the fulfillment of what they're paying us for. So allowing you to focus on more of the marketing side of things and making sure that people that I brought or people who came into our ecosystem were being nurtured into future clients really allowed me to free up my time and focus into what my area of expertise is versus yours.
Did VSLs, content, a lot of, again, the marketing work. But for you, what were the key digital assets on the sales and marketing side that, again, helped you the most and that will continue helping you like in 12 months, just that are sitting there? Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one is the school. It's just the community. We plug that in all of our content, so people are coming in there. We have 5 people a day joining the school program, so that's getting close to like 750 people at this point. So it's a really good downsell because the whole reason we built this program is to help more people learn sales, get into sales, refine their sales skills. Not everyone has the investment to join, so making sure that they stay in our ecosystem and we're still able to provide value. That's definitely the longest term asset. Secondarily to that is probably the podcast stuff that you do, because that's permanent, right? That's really the biggest thing, is like permanent assets that you help us create was definitely the school community and podcasts, which is allowing us to get our message to other people's communities to help more people. So like, broadening our reach,
like a 3-in-1 that I like to say, that you connect with, most people don't think about it this way, but you connect with the owner of the podcast, which we saw sometimes converts into sales directly. So not even his audience, just a podcast host, but also you connect to his audience. But on top of that, if you pretty much take the content and make clips out of it, which what you did, and your partner, you did a lot of content out of that and probably will continue doing that, then you're able to hit like 3 type of audiences at once. So both for the B2B offer, the B2C offer, and just brand awareness in general.
Yeah, you were like a podcast appointment setter. Exactly. So you just like, hey, show up to this podcast. I was like, all right, cool. No real energy on my end. Just got to show up and talk about what I talk about all day long. So yeah.
Awesome. So something that people might know in your audience, but that people looking at this interview might not know, is that you love golf, right? You're a golf fan.
To a fault.
We wanted to play golf. We didn't have the chance, maybe another day. But you literally, with the sales manager, Sam, you really pushed me into wanting to try golf. I literally tried it with my brother. Family was really, really fun. And I just seen the progression of when we started working together. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that you were doing less golf, you were less going out. Like, for example, this afternoon you were going jet skiing. So I'm wondering, how are you allocating your time right now? Because it seems like you have more time and you're able to work on the business, not in the business. So how did that change over the months?
Yeah, I mean, just having someone that you can trust do the things that you need to know that are being done to the best abilities. So not having to babysit somebody is big. Even if somebody is doing something in your business, but you're not fully confident in their abilities to do it, you're still in the business to a fault, right? So definitely allowed me to go lower in golf. I got my Friday rounds, I play Sundays, but I think it's just that, is just trust in that this parts of the business are being handled correctly. Yeah.
As simple as that. Just someone you can trust, not babysit. Awesome. And anyone that plays golf should link up with Dylan to play in Florida.
Yeah, if you're in St. Pete, hit me up. Always need more people to golf with.
Awesome. And for education businesses, training companies that are similar to the SDR Whisperer, making close to a few millions a year, around that mark. They a lot of time have problems with connecting marketing and sales, or sales and marketing, and you're obviously a pro in sales. So what were the key things, either in your business but also in other businesses that you've helped in sales, to connect sales and marketing? What are those key elements?
Yeah, so sales and marketing are pretty much the same functions, but no one looks at them that way, because people look at marketing and sales as like adversaries in businesses. There's a bunch of memes out there. There's funny people who make videos about it, but like marketing fuels sales and sales makes marketing look good, and they need to rely on each other. So if your salespeople are taking unqualified calls, that could be a marketing problem. But if your salespeople aren't closing deals, that's not a marketing problem sometimes. So really understanding the key metrics of what is marketing's core functionality and what is sales' core functionality. Marketing is to bring people in the door that are qualified, and that's their job, is to get more qualified people in the door, the ecosystem, the funnel. The salespeople's job is to take that interest and turn it into cash.
Makes sense. And is there like specific KPIs that you see often in businesses fuck up, or is it the same ones all the time?
Yeah, it's probably definitely a lack of tracking where people are coming from, what channels. It's because like a big thing that, I mean, as a business owner, you're spending money in all different directions, right? Like content. Right, content is hard to quantify if you don't have the proper softwares, systems, and data to go off of. So like understanding, where did this person come from originally? Not their last click, but their first click. So we use a software called Rathe for that. So we know if somebody watches a piece of content, they click our link, and then 3 months later they come in through an ad that was directly attributable to content, not ads. The ads were just building on the already, interest months ago. So that's the nice thing about content, is because it's there permanently. The algorithm could push a clip from a year ago on YouTube, and they could watch it and then come into your system. So you're creating a leverageable long-term asset with content, as well as if you have places for them to go, like a school community or a newsletter, you're able to capture more people in the top of the funnel. And then that's where sales comes in and works the people who are coming into the top of the funnel, into the middle and bottom of the funnel.
So you're reaching out to people either through SDRs or emails, and they're watching your YouTube videos and they click a link, and you think they came from YouTube, for example, when they came from somewhere else, and then you stop doing the other thing and you wonder why your content, YouTube or your other channels are not working. It's definitely a problem that a lot of businesses have, and that's where great products like Rathe comes in. So
love Rathe. Shout out Becker.
100%. So like we said, you've trained and helped personally over, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but 350, maybe around the 400 mark, number of salespeople that you helped train personally within the community, the education company. And for, again, CEOs, business owners of education businesses watching this, what are the key things they need to watch out for their own salespeople, specifically on the SDR side? So is there like specific KPIs or things that people are not doing well that you see all the time? Just they're not doing it well, and it just damages the potential of their SDRs.
Yeah, I mean, speed to lead is the easiest one. So if you're doing all this effort to bring people into the funnel, they drop the ball once they enter the funnel. Like that's where the hard work doesn't start until they enter the funnel. So not having people reach out in the point of their peak of their interest is a huge ball that's dropped. So if you create content, somebody's like, oh, this sounds pretty interesting, I'm gonna go to their website, I'm gonna fill my information, and then you don't call them for 4 days, they forgot about you. They might have joined another program in that time frame. So making sure that you're capitalizing when you're top of mind in that buyer, and having a conversation and getting them into a sales conversation the fastest is really the biggest problem. And then just not tracking what's going on if you are doing that. So like making sure you have enough volume. You're calling those opt-in leads multiple times, you're emailing them, they're in your newsletter, you're texting them, you're following them on social media, you're doing everything possible to get that person into a conversation, and just really making sure that nothing slips through the cracks. Yeah.
And that's less than 15 minutes ideally. Like that's the best. Of course, the best would be instantly as soon as the lead pops up.
5 to 15 minutes.
Boom. But most companies. What do most companies do in terms of time that you saw? Like
Some of them never reach out. They just send like an automated email or something and hope they convert. So yeah, having actual dedicated, focused manpower into that, because you're spending money to get them there. Why would you not spend money to get them into paying you?
Yeah, makes sense.
People fall off on the content to sales or outreach to sales, whatever it is. Yeah.
100%. With all of the systems and just experience that you have running this education company, how confident are you at that 10 million a year mark, and why, if so?
Yeah, I mean, info products are infinitely scalable because you build a product. You just need to make sure that they are going through it. That's customer success, processes, systems. The biggest thing that people don't do in education is they don't take in feedback from the students in the community. So we are continually building assets, videos, coaching calls. We just added a coaching call like 2 weeks ago. So just continually working on the product. Once the product is built, it's not done, because new things enter the market, new people innovate, come into your business. So, I mean, the biggest reason we're going to hit, $1 million a month in this is it's scalable, right? It's education. The more people that consume it, the more results that happen. And then making sure that you're actually listening to the community, you're nurturing the community, you're reaching out and speaking with students, understanding what is their favorite things, why did they buy, if we had this thing, would this help you? All right, cool, let's go build it. So continually iterating and improving your product is really it's just a slow gain. And getting more eyeballs is probably the biggest thing there, right? Is once you have a good product, the next problem is just eyeballs.
Yeah, what would be like specific things or elements that you added to, again, like getting in contact with the students, the clients inside the SDR Whisperer? Is there processes that you follow to get their feedback, or is it one-on-one calls, weekly calls? How does that process look like to get the feedback to just make the product really, really good?
Yeah, so we have customer success managers, and then we have automations to them. So we have like a 7-day check-in, a 30-day check-in, a 60-day check-in, a 90-day check-in. So every single student in those milestones gets a personal message from the customer success rep, and that's feedback is given directly to us because that's going to help our marketing efforts. The best marketers are just using the words of their paying customers. So the more words we can compile from our students, good or bad, the better we can market. And if they say something, we can use that as a hook or a call to action, because if it resonates with one person, it might resonate with much more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but if you're not reaching out and asking the questions, you don't get the information back. Making sure that you have enough new, fresh blood and creating a culture around, showing up to the calls, high attendance rates, making sure that they're posting in the Slack, because if other people are seeing success, they're going to be more inclined to post their success, like the Friday Wins channel, right? Automations. Slack has a lot of really cool stuff that you can do on autopilot to build culture and make people post. And also just taking a vested interest in the students, right? Like a lot of courses out there, education programs, you join and you never ever speak with the face of the company again.
And that big chunk of it is like in the first 100 days, like you said, like 90 days?
First week.
First week, of course, yeah.
First week to 2 weeks, right? Like immediately having a really good experience is going to help a bunch. And some people are active, some people are not active. Some people know Slack, some people don't know Slack. So I'm making sure that they're comfortable in the platform that we use in the community, and like making sure that they are in attendance. Like, hey man, would love to see you on a call this week. Hey man, haven't seen you in a couple weeks. What's going on?
It's kind of outreach
to
students, right, to clients.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is that when the culture, the community, everything is on, and we're starting to see it, you can implement B2B products, BDC products on top of it for just increasing the lifetime value. Yeah, the students inside of the SDR Whisperer, and long term, that makes it that or client that comes in the SDR Whisperer is worth that much more because they're invested in the journey. And I don't know what's the exact percentage, but those people that do the long run, so maybe that they come into as a setter and then they go into closer, and then maybe down the line with your partner becoming a sales sales director or just climbing the ladder. They stay with you through the entire journey. You're in their backs, just pushing them through their journey. And I think that's long-term why the culture is going to increase the revenue, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's going to shine the most.
Well, yeah, that's a natural progression in sales. So our next product is Closer Whisperer. So now that we've built an army of appointment setters, SDRs, cold callers, they're doing good in their roles. Their next progression in that company is to gain more responsibility, become a closer. So now we're building a line of products to where our students are growing too. So they already know us, they trust us, we've gotten them a job. Now they're going to come to us when we offer them another additional product, creating, followers, not just customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much time, of course, like the training processes and the one-on-one coaching, the weekly calls, it's really, really great. And most companies are not doing that. But how long, of course, it depends on the number of hours, but how long would you say it takes for an SDR to be an SDR and transition into the closer role, just step up, and that he's actually good, he's performing in that role?
It could be 6 to 18 months.
6 to 18 months.
Yeah. It also depends on the company, right? If they don't have a seat for them.
It's going to be way shorter than that.
Yeah. But at the same time, a company needs to need that role, right? So, the best closers are your SDRs. Mm-hmm. So, because they know and they're willing to do the work that's required to continue to build pipeline. But, it kind of depends on the company that they're in and when they're ready to promote. So it's a little bit out of our control, but the better they are, the faster they get promoted.
Yeah.
But
for example, with formation, the programs, they get like the first 30 days, they're really inside of the community. They're getting courses, they're getting mentorship. So I guess it's way faster than, for example, how normal companies train their people.
Yeah.
It's super slow. It takes weeks and months to just get some basic information. Just for example, like speed to lead, how you push them to understand the speed to lead, that whenever there's a Slack notification, they need to hop on it. So I feel like that's why like an SDR Whisperer student would be way faster to transition into that role.
Well, they've already done the ramping.
Yeah.
So when they join the company, they're ready to hit the ground running. That's the main difference.
And they understand to not waste a lead. Because there's some closers that they just don't really care because they haven't done, like you say, the hunter work. But when they transition into it like that, they value every lead. Right?
Yeah, they have the correct mindset.
If you had to describe, again, we talked about the experience, the relationship, we talked about communication as well. How would you describe the experience of working with us, maybe above communication? So what a part of communication were the key elements that you saw? So just the experience of working together. I know we talked about communication, but let's step aside from that. Apart from that, within the experience, is there other things that you thought was valuable for the company, just our partnership?
Yeah, it's the innovation. It's coming with new ideas, right? Like that's what you pay an agency or somebody you're working with for, is ideas, right? You want to hire people and bring people into your business that are going to help grow the business. They're not just going to, check in, check out, and do what's asked of them. You want people who are in the business, understand the business, seeing where the business can go, and bring new ideas. And not only bring the ideas, but also bring the implementation of those new ideas. So like, you could have came to us like, yeah, we should build a free community, and then just never said anything. But you said, hey, we should do this. This is the software we should use. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to promote. This is how we're going to use an email list that we've already built to build that community. This is how we're going to do it. This is this, this, and this, this, and this. So essentially you were just like, hey, no, I need you to do these things. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. And also you got to give the person that you're paying the leash and the freedom to be able to implement those new ideas with trust.
Which can be hard.
Yeah.
In a way, I see it as our relationship was kind of an in-between an agency, a consultant, and a full-time employee in a way, right? Because it's all in. It's going all in. It's not focusing on other things, which can be super easy as an agency to really go. We talked about it just before this. I think like focusing on one thing, right? And it's always hard. For you as well, right? There's shiny object. You're thinking about cool things you can do, but actually focusing on one person only, or really a few partners / people you want to go all in with. I think that's one of the things that I take pride in, and I'm really happy of doing and choosing that way of doing things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely was noticed from the business side of things, for sure.
Why should a CEO right now that's listening to this interview, this little case study that we have, take a step forward in looking at partnering with us? Again, you can repeat yourself, but what are the key points that, again, you would say to a CEO of an education or training company, hey, I think you should consider that?
Yeah, so I mean, from a business owner, CEO perspective, working with somebody such as yourself is super beneficial because you're not like a W-2 employee. You're not like a massive $150K a year base salary CMO. You're somebody who's able to come in, be nimble, quick, and innovative into the business. And if you're not doing what you should be doing from a marketing perspective, right? A lot of people are unwilling to put their face on camera. They're not willing to dedicate the time, energy, and resources to truly market your product. And then if you're sitting there and you're like, why aren't we having more customers? Why aren't we having more sales? The old ways of doing things work, but there's a whole slew of new ways to do things nowadays with the internet, with software, with content, with the way in which people consume information. So you need to make sure that you're on the cutting edge of how people consume, right? They're not consuming, live events and conferences as much, right? They're doing digital webinars. They're doing long form content on YouTube or Twitter. They're doing short form content, right? People's attention spans are shorter. They need bite-sized information. So as long as making sure that you're relevant as a CEO and your company is staying relevant, you're going to need to continue to innovate and bringing in somebody young like yourself who understands digital online marketing and as somebody that you can trust to be able to be in your corner and be like, I got this for you guys. That's really the massive reason for hiring someone such as you guys. That's why we hired you, and it's worked out great. You've massively increased our community. That's not even the revenue stuff, right? You've allowed us to come in contact with more people who need us and are seeing a massive life change, seeing a drastic life change by joining the SDR Whisperer.
It's been awesome to see, to be honest, just seeing the people getting literally, like you say, their life changed just by getting the right information and the right mentors, just yourselves and your partner. It's been really, really cool. And honestly, every time I saw a win, I was super happy. It made my day. It's like, let's keep grinding. Let's keep getting more people into that because you guys gave amazing results.
Yeah, and if you literally are an expert in your space and you have a good product, it's your job as a business owner, as a CEO, to help as many people as possible. And to do so, you need to get more eyeballs. That's literally it. If you do good work, you need to help more people at your job.
And most education businesses, what happens is that they're extremely good on the product side. They're product based. They're just focused on making sure people get results, but they don't have, like you say, the innovation, the eye just to get the right angle to talk about their product. And that's why it's unfortunate, because it's really the differentiator between a few millions a year, right, and just scaling that up. It's just, like you say, like eyeballs and getting in front of the...
It's just all eyeballs, It's good eyeballs.
Good eyeball, the right one, of course.
Yeah,
especially
the right
on the
eyeballs.
B side, you just want the right people that you can get big deals with that have a big lifetime value and not sometimes a one-time hit in education.
Yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dylan. It's been absolutely amazing in Florida here. I'll stay a couple of hours before hopping in the plane and going back home. So, thanks a lot for this.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming.
Awesome.